In just a moment, today's video. But first, a 30-second announcement. What if the secret to living your best life is realizing that you're not fighting the world, you're fighting yourself? We are inviting you to get deep with our free 7-day self-love challenge, compliments of our intuitive arts and self-growth school, Zen Academy, where we feature a huge catalog of courses and certifications to help you constantly improve yourself in your self-growth and as an intuitive arts professional. Click the link to find out more and get started today. And now, on to today's video. I want to talk about fears today. Everyone has fears. It's a natural part of being human, and fear can protect us from harm by sending that rush of adrenaline that that fear brings to I'm talking about, that helps us physically deal with potential danger. There's things physiologically that happen that prepare our body for doing what we need to do, but most of the time, that rush of adrenaline is there for like stupid reasons. But there are times in life when fear can keep us from participating fully in our life. That's the kind of fear we want to eliminate. Okay. Once we realize that fear is this state of mind and it's just kind of coming from our animal mind, we can choose to face those fears. Now, we work on our shadows, we work on all those things, and they're hard, right? But we got to change our minds to what those fears are in our life to reprogram them so they don't keep coming up again. And we want to create the life that we want to live. So our minds are these powerful tools to be used by our higher consciousness to make certain connections between thought and response, thought and reaction. And we have the ability to observe those and choose differently because we are aware of our existence. We're sentient beings. And no matter where the fear came from, we can create new connections by choosing new thoughts. But we have to stop and we have to choose a new thought instead of rolling and spinning out and doing all the crazy stuff. When our minds and our souls are in alignment, we create a new experience of reality. So this journey requires a lot of little small steps and a lot of little small changing of thoughts, as well as patience and courage through that process. Here's an example. Okay, so you decide one day, let's say I've met people that are really afraid of driving on the freeway. Okay, this is kind of a common fear, believe it or not. Okay, especially if you're a new driver. But here's an example. You decide to overcome your fear of driving on the freeway. So your plan of action starts with thinking about your thoughts and finding a new way of seeing the situation. You can't get on that freeway until you change your thoughts about it. And when you're ready, maybe you get someone to come with you who's really calm, who can support you as you take that first step of like merging into that slow lane and using and getting on the freeway for the first time. That's scary the first time, right? Your heart may be racing, that adrenaline's pumping, your confidence is going to be boosted little by little each time you make that step, getting on the freeway, getting off the freeway. Soon it's nothing, right? And you repeat it until you're comfortable and you don't need help anymore. You don't need somebody to come with you. And then you drive another a little bit farther and farther. You get the picture until you just kind of go on autopilot. You can get on and off the freeway and it's super, super easy conquering any fear. You have to do it in baby steps. Maybe the first time you face it, you've got to have somebody hold your hand. You have to have somebody go with you, like, the first time you go to the dentist. Well, you're usually a kid and your mom goes with you, but you know what I mean. The first time you do something really scary, you want someone to come with you. A lot of times I think that we think we're the only people with this particular fear and that nobody else could possibly be scared of, like, maybe ordinary things like water. People can be scared of water, heights, public speaking, flying. People are scared of all sorts of things that we take for granted in our world. These types of kind of common fears you can work on in sort of a non-emotional way. And as you learn that process of working on those more common fears, like being afraid of heights, that going through that process can instill in you the process of overcoming some of those scarier, more hidden fears, your shadows that are kind of more attached to shame, and embarrassment and the things we really don't want to admit even to ourselves. So we can, it's easier to say I'm afraid of heights, and work through that publicly than it is to say, I'm afraid of risking this because people will laugh at me. That's kind of more of a hidden fear. So, but this process can translate to helping you with some of the harder fears. Remember though, it's not the absence of fear, but it's the courage to take action anyway that determines success. So when we learn to face our fears, we learn to observe thoughts and feelings and not be ruled by them. So that is the goal of overcoming your fears. And then, and only then, can we choose to shape the lives that we want. Just a reminder to take a moment and smash that subscribe button. And don't forget to sign up for our free 7-day self-love challenge. Compliments of Zen Ed Academy, where it has never been easier than right now to get comprehensive PhD-backed education to improve your life and to get professionally certified in your intuitive arts career. Mediumship, tarot, self-growth. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.